Welcome on in. It's a Thursday edition of Sports Memo Today. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, alongside my guest. Get you that actionable info you know and you love in 30 minutes or less. We got Nick Parsons from the Insiders Room. He's got a play for you in the Lakers Nuggets, looking towards the total. And then he's also got a play on the ice for you. Two of his best sports there. We're going to be talking Panthers, Hurricanes game one in the NHL ECF. And then Matt Joseph's got a little look ahead for you. We're going to be talking a little future bet in the AFC North. He's got a vibe on how that division's going to be shaking out. Maybe the top two positions and a nice plus price for you at that. And then he's also going to be breaking down in the Dodgers game. He's got a player prop that he's liking for this evening. So we're going to see Arenado. How's he going to be playing this evening? You'll have to stay tuned to find out from one of the best prop handicappers in the game in Matt Joseph's. And you see to the side of me, Throwback Thursday, all kinds of packages priced at half price today. So if you're a $2 Tuesday guy, if you're a $9 Monday, you love those savings, well, Throwback Thursday is tailor-made for you. So let's get right into it. Let's welcome in my man from the Insiders Room, Nick Parsons. And man, maybe some folks were not as surprised with what happened in game one. I just feel bad for anyone who bet the 6 either way and had to watch that entire game. If you were the Nuggets thinking you had an easy winner, if you backed the Lakers thinking, oh my God, we're going to get it. And then anyone who landed on 6 was push city. So you're staying away from the side. No more pushes. The total was the way to go, Nick. So how are we going to be betting the total here in game two?
Well, exactly the way I feel about that game one, because some people have won, some people lost, and some people pushed. And so, yeah, I mean, Denver, it did look good in that 132-126 win. It was kind of holding on for dear life at the end there. But yeah, because of the way that one ended, I'm going to steer clear of the side in game two. And obviously expectations are high here, and that this is going to be another shootout because of what we saw in game one. But I'm kind of thinking the opposite here. Tonight's total is actually 5 points higher than the game one total, so that is significant. Now, being successful in the playoffs, it's about making adjustment. So obviously the Lakers, they're going to have to double down on the defensive end here in game two. Denver really set a frantic pace in that opening game one. Dan, I like to have some against the spread stats to sort of back up my theories, and I have a couple of really good ones here for the Lakers. LA has, in fact, seen the total go under the number in 8 of its last 11 in trying to revenge a road loss against an opponent, and it's also seen the total go over into the number in 3 straight, and that's significant to note because LA's seen the total go under the number in 4 of its last 5 after playing to 3 straight overs. Now, Denver, it averages 115.8 points per game. That's just the middle of the pack. It allows 112.5. That ranks 8th overall. LA averages 117.2 and allowing 116.8. But those averages do dip down for the Lakers when they're on the road. If you watched the first game, obviously you saw that it was dominated by the two big men, Nikola Jokic and Anthony Davis. They were huge for their teams in game one. And so obviously that's going to be more of the game plan here in game two for both teams. Each team will be running its offense through its big man. But with that said, I am expecting a more methodical pace here, a more defensive affair all around. And because of that, I'm going to take advantage of what I feel is now an overinflated line because of the high scoring shootout in game one. So Dan, give me the under in game two.
And the under is a play that I locked in as well. So let's hope we can catch this one right alongside each other. Love the breakdown there. You can check out Nick Parsons, wt.buzz/TIR. That's the Insiders Room. Also drop him a line on Twitter. Find out how you can check out that great channel, getting you the best actionable info available. All right, let's switch it on to the ice because NBA, it was nice season, 297, 253 since the start of last year. But if we're talking NHL, 63% over the last 2 months. So definitely some sports that you're running hot in, brother. So let's take a look at this game this evening in the Eastern Conference Finals. What do you think? Road dog might be worth a look, or are we eating some chalk at home?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great series, I think. And so, yeah, when this line first came out, it was basically a pick-em, and the Hurricanes have slowly been bet up here and there around the minus 140 range with nearly 70% of the wagers and money But the odds makers feel that these teams are evenly matched. And so now that we're getting a little bit of plus money in return here on the Panthers, I do feel that they're the best value play here in game one. And I just touched on this in my last analysis there. But yeah, to be successful in the playoffs from a handicapping perspective, and also the teams that are actually playing these games, it's about making adjustments from game to game. And so we'll see what happens here in game one, and I'll make some adjustments if I have to in game two. But with these teams being so evenly matched, I really do feel the value is for sure in grabbing the plus money. Of course, Florida, Dan, it was a super interesting story this year. It was one of the favorites to come out of the East before the season started, and then it got off to a lackluster start, and most people sort of wrote it off as a serious threat. But being successful in the playoffs, it's a lot about timing, chemistry, and momentum. And obviously, Florida comes into this series with a ton of momentum. They were down 0-2 to Boston in that opening series, then they came back to win it. Arguably the greatest upset in NHL playoff history. And so after a 7-game series with the Bruins, not many gave them a chance against the Leafs, myself included, but they destroyed Toronto in 5 games. They've had a week off now to prepare for this, and so has Carolina. But, the Hurricanes' path, in my opinion, a little less impressive. They beat the Islanders in 6, and then they beat a shaky Devils team in 5. Now, Carolina, it did absolutely have the better goaltending during the regular season, but these teams are now putting up similar numbers that the playoffs are here. So I'm going to call that area a wash in this series. For me, Dan, it's value, value, value. I'm going to take that plus money in the dog in game one.
The Panthers keep doing the unthinkable, and Nick Parsons says, hey, let's continue it here this evening in game one against the Hurricanes. We're looking towards the road dog, and as I mentioned, 63% in the NHL, and I told you earlier, Throwback Thursday, you can knock half price. Great deals across sportsmemo.com, so when people head on over to your page at sm.buzz/TIR, what are they going to see locked and loaded, brother?
We're going to see NBA and NHL plays ready to go. Also, baseball, guys, it's a super long season. And as Dan said, there's so many different days now to take advantage of. So go take advantage of that Throwback Thursday. Check out the Insider's Room. You can check out all my runs over there on the leaderboards as well.
Love it. That's Nick Parsons. And again, check him out there at sportsmemo.com. Also, advise people to check out the deals page over there. Not only do we have our Try Memo where you can knock 50% off if it's your first time purchasing here at sportsmemo.com, but really every day we're having a rotating cast of ways that you can save money and ride with the hottest handicappers we have across the different sites. So definitely check that out. Same thing over at Wager Talk. That deals page always being updated on a daily basis. So definitely check that out. Right at the top, while you're there, check out the best free live odds screen in the biz. I use it on a daily basis myself. So let's welcome in our second guest here. We got Mid-Major Matt, great follow on Twitter, even better guest when he's here with me on Sports Memo Today. You can also find him sm.buzz/MJ. I know the card is light tonight for clients, but still, man of the people, found something to come on here and talk about. Let's take a look at the AFC North, a little NFL future play. Never too early to start talking about football, Matt.
Yeah, never too early to discuss that stuff. And certainly it's a play that I'm looking for. Like, you don't want to necessarily tie your money up on futures right now for too long unless it's something you really love and it's something you don't think you're going to get closer to the season. And so certainly I'm looking for plus money plays, and I'm looking for different books that have different things. And one of the offerings that is out there is who are the first 2 teams going to be in any sort of divisions? And you can get 2 teams. You could be as obvious as the Eagles and the Cowboys, or you can go to a different division and go, Jets and Dolphins, whatever it is. And so I'm going to head over to the AFC North. I'm really a big fan of the Ravens this year. I think if the Ravens stay healthy, they could be a Super Bowl contender. Lamar Jackson being back, he actually has some legit wide receivers to throw to this year. They added Beckham. They added Zay Flowers. You still got Mark Andrews there. You've got one of the best offensive lines, and you've got a defense that, if it stays healthy, is going to be really good. And then, of course, you got the Bengals. The Bengals who are, eventually going to hand Joe Burrow a large sum of money, and he's got his weapons weapons on offense and a defense that's been pretty good so far. So why not combine the two teams and get a 2-1 profit here? So I think that the Ravens and the Bengals will be the top two teams in the division. I'm not a big Browns guy. I know that you now have a full offseason for Deshaun Watson. I'm just not a fan. I think that they're going to struggle a little bit. And the Steelers are getting close, but I don't think they're there yet. So give me the Ravens and the Bengals to finish first and second in any order at a 2-1 price.
See, initially I thought that was, almost like an exacta where you're calling Ravens at the top, Bengals, but to have them as the top two, I think that's terrific value, especially when how much of the absence of Lamar Jackson had to do with the fact that he wasn't inked up. I have a feeling there won't be as many rumbly tummies having him leave games and lingering injuries that probably could have been staved off. So a play that when Matt and I are done, I'm going to go be locking in. It's the Ravens and Bengals in the top two AFC North, any order. Love that you don't have to pick that top and bottom and still get that nice price. All right, let's talk about something that people don't have to tie their money up for a couple months, and that's in this Dodgers game tonight. Matt is one of the best in the prop handicapping market. You can always find him on our Prop It Up show that goes on Wager Talk TV Friday mornings at 10. So a little preview of what they get there. You got hits, runs, RBIs. How are we betting Nolan Arenado tonight?
Yeah, Nolan Arenado, one of the hottest hitters in the planet. It was, 4 or 5 straight games that he had a home run, and he cooled off yesterday. He only had one hit yesterday. But certainly he's going up against Julio Urias today, and he has great numbers, 6 for 15, 2 doubles against Urias so far in his career. And look, with a bet like this, hits, runs, and RBIs, a home run wins. A solo shot wins because you get a run and an RBI. It's 1.5 is the number. There is a little bit of juice involved, so maybe shop around to the different books that offer this thing. But I'm looking at Nolan Arenado over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I just think he's in a great opportunity today. And I was really looking at the Julio Urias outs over here because the Dodgers only got 9 innings from their starting pitching in this series against the Minnesota Twins. So they're looking for Urias to go deep. And I don't hate that bet necessarily, but he is on the road where he's not quite as strong. The Cardinals have been very hit or miss when it comes to facing left-handed pitching. So why not back one of the hottest hitters in the planet, Nolan Arenado, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs in their game tonight against the Dodgers?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Kind of special there over the 1.5. Minus 140, not too bad of a price for one of the hottest hitters in Major League Baseball. And the other thing I love, Matt just broke down a future, focusing on 2 teams, broke down a hitter, focusing on a pitcher prop that you could potentially put in there as well, and did it in about 5 minutes. Man, I don't think Adam Trigger could finish a sentence in 5 minutes. So love when we have you on. It's quick, it's fast, and that's why we love having Mid-Major Matt. And I know you don't have anything that you're really eyeing for tonight, but as we head towards the weekend, I know there's always K-props. There's always something on the diamond you're looking. What else will people find heading towards the weekend? Well, I know the card's kind of short for you this evening.
Yeah, nothing else for tonight. I have one K-prop in play right now. 32-19 so far this season in the K-prop, so we're going well. It's been a bit of a rough season. It was not a good first month of the year, so we're trying to dig out of a hole. We're slowly doing so. So baseball is like 15 months, it feels like, long, so we'll certainly try and improve from a rough start. And, of course, college football, all the win totals are out, so we're starting to be in the lab a little bit, starting to take a look at some college football win totals, one of the best handicappers on SportsMemo when it comes to college football, and we're actually 100 days away from the sport, so that's what we're looking forward to. And finally, you mentioned it, Prop It Up tomorrow. Andy Lang and I will be doing some NFL, some NBA, and some Major League Baseball, among other things, at 10 a.m.
Yeah, and already putting in the work already for college football. That's what makes him one of the best handicappers in college football year in and year out. When he talks team totals, especially, you definitely want to be listening. Putting in the work already here in May. Mid-Major Matt difference. Huge thanks to Matt Josephs and big thanks to Nick Parsons. That's going to do it for us. We promise you the fastest info that you can get across all of our great shows here on Sports Memo Today. And we just got you another 4 plays with a sprinkle free one if you were listening to Matt Josephs there in that Dodgers game in just about 15 minutes. I don't know who else is doing it on the channel other than us here at Sports Memo Today. If you like the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hop in the comments below and let us know what you're going to be betting this evening and this weekend. And we will be back Tuesday, Thursday. Joe Ranieri going to be filling in for me next week here on the show, but we'll see you then, hopefully with a little more money in our pocket. Till then, I've been Dan Alexander, and we appreciate you tuning in here on Sports Memo Today.